Before you hit send on that next text, stop right there. You need to hear this too often. We act out of despair, fear of loss, or an aching need for approval. But here's the thing. When you reach out from that place, you're giving take away your power. You're giving someone else your peace of mind and sense of self, which is not what you deserve. This video is about finding your inner strength again and using the Stoic philosophy to stay grounded and strong no matter what happens outside of you. It's about realizing that your worth doesn't depend on her response, attention, or approval. It comes from within. So before you hit send, take a deep breath and let's talk about what it means to reclaim your power. Develop strong self-confidence and make choices that help your growth, not your fears. This isn't about her, it's about you becoming the best, most honest version of yourself. Let's begin. First, why does the urge to text feel so strong? You know, when your heart races and your mind is racing and you just have to reach out. It's almost like a reflex. Why? Because your brain wants closure. It wants to fill the void to know that everything is okay between you two. It's the same feeling that keeps you awake at night, scrolling through old messages and replaying moments like a song stuck on repeat. But here's the truth. One of the best skills you can learn is how to control your urges. It's not enough to just resist the urge. You also need to understand why you're feeling that way and learn to separate yourself from it. Think about it. Every time you text her out of desperation or anxiety, you're giving her control over your emotional health. You're letting your need for reassurance or validation guide your actions. Epictetus once said that controlling yourself is more powerful than managing others. What he meant was that real freedom comes from controlling your own wants, not forcing others to do what you want. If you text her now, you're giving up control and trading your inner peace for a moment of temporary comfort. Imagine this. You send her that text and she might respond or she might not. Either way, you're left chasing her responses, constantly checking to see if she's interested and letting her response or lack of it happen. Define your mood, and that's not the way a man who values his own peace of mind thinks. Instead, enjoy the silence. Don't do anything, just breathe and let the moment pass. Feel the urge, but don't give in to it. That's where the real power lies. Just because you feel strongly about something doesn't mean you have to act on it. Resisting the urge to reach out is like lifting weights for your mind. Think about Marcus Aurelius, who said that you should only think about what you can control, her answer, her attention, her love. No matter what happens, you have full control over your reaction. So the next time you feel the strong urge to text her, remember that it's just a feeling and not a command. You can let it go and focus on your own growth and purpose. And when you do, you'll realize that the peace you're looking for doesn't come from her reply. It comes from within. What quiet really means, if you choose to stay calm and focused instead of desperately trying to reach her, something powerful happens. She starts to wonder why your attention, which was once so easily accessible, has now withdrawn into silence. You see, it's natural for people to notice what's missing. When your name doesn't pop up on her screen or her phone stays still and silent, it creates a void, and voids have a way of drawing attention to themselves. It's like a missing piece in a puzzle. Its absence is all the more noticeable because it's not there. The Stoics knew how powerful discipline could be. Marcus Aurelius thought that real power came from being able to keep calm under pressure. If you don't text her, you're not just holding back words. You're showing self-respect and proving to yourself that your happiness and peace of mind are not dependent on her response or approval. And don't get me wrong, that kind of calm is magnetic. It's something that few people can do. Imagine her scrolling through her messages hoping to see your name, only to find an empty inbox. It forces her to face the fact that you're no longer chasing her. And in that silence, she starts to question her own importance in your life. Your absence becomes a mystery she feels compelled to solve. Your silence is not a sign of weakness or lack of interest. It's a sign of your strength, discipline, and respect for yourself. Let your silence do the talking. It's more eloquent than any words you could ever send, and the best part is that it shows her that you're not willing to give up your peace of mind just to get her attention. That's the paradoxical power hour of silence. It can send messages stronger than spoken words, reinforcing the profound Stoic wisdom that sometimes less is more. What do you think? How does this approach resonate with your own life? If you like this insight, please click the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, or just type "Silence is golden" in the comments section below. Your participation not only helps us grow, but it also builds a community where we can all learn from each other's experiences. Now let's look more closely at how this silence can change perceptions and dynamics even more. Getting back control of your emotions, managing your emotions. You've already taken a big step toward regaining your mental power when you decide not to text her. It's like drawing a line in the sand and telling yourself, "I'm in charge." How I don't feel her. My happiness doesn't depend on her answer, her love, or her approval. That one act of self-control has more power than you think. When you feel the urge to reach out, your emotions are really screaming for comfort, relief, or something to hold on to. But when you resist, you train your mind to rely on itself instead of outside validation. You teach yourself to find comfort within instead of desperately seeking it outside. Seneca said it best when he said that we suffer more in our imaginations than in real life. A lot of your anxiety comes from wondering if she's thinking about you, making up the worst-case scenarios, and trying to figure out why she's not texting you. But the truth is that you can't change her thoughts, feelings, or actions. The only thing you can change is how you respond, and that's where the real power lies. Deciding not to text her is a statement of independence. It's a choice to separate your emotional health from her reactions instead of letting her dictate yours. Being emotionally in control is like a man standing in the middle of a raging storm and staying calm. The chaos may be going on around you, but your calmness stays the same. You've decided that your peace of mind is not something to be given up so easily. When you choose silence, you're not playing games. You're reclaiming control over your emotions. You're showing yourself that you don't need her answer to feel validated or whole, and when you do that, you're acting from a place of real strength, not desperation. Seneca also said that the person who constantly wants more is the one who is poor. If you're always looking for her attention or reassurance, you're acting from a place of lack. But when you choose to embrace your own emotional control, you're recognizing that you are enough. Your strength, calmness, and peace are already inside you, waiting to be recognized. So the next time you find yourself drooling over your phone, take a deep breath and remember that this moment of self-control is a victory. It's you refusing to give someone else your emotional power, and you're claiming your peace of mind one moment at a time. Pick out a weapon. Time number 4, despair or discipline. Pick your weapon of despair is the frantic texts which are loud, messy, and often embarrassing. The constant scrolling and the need to reach out just to fill the void are symptoms of a lack of validation, fear of rejection, and a need for reassurance. What's worse, people can tell when she's desperate from a mile away, and when she shows it, they push her further away. Discipline, on the other hand, is quiet, sure, and unwavering. When you control yourself and don't act on emotion, you send a strong message to her, the world, and most importantly, to yourself. I am in charge. I don't chase validation because I don't need it. A disciplined man doesn't beg for attention or break down when he's turned down. He stays calm because he knows he's good enough, and that calmness earns respect. It's attractive in a way that despair never could be. It's the difference between a man who begs for love and one who knows he is valuable wherever he goes. The Stoics truly understood this. Alexander the Great said, you have power over your mind, not over outside events. Understand this and you will be strong. Real discipline means knowing that your worth isn't based on how she reacts, but on what you build inside yourself. Put two men in the same position. One is desperate and sends her a lot of messages while being filled with anxiety and doubt. The other, who is also in pain, chooses discipline. He recognizes his feelings but doesn't act on them right away. Instead, he puts that energy into his work, his interests, and his growth. The first man gets weaker with each desperate try, while the second man gets stronger with each moment of self-control. He knows that self-control is like a muscle, and every time he doesn't reach out, it gets a little stronger. Seneca said that the most powerful person is the one who controls himself. Discipline isn't about getting her to miss you or play games. It's about making your life so full that you don't need her approval to feel complete. Adopt discipline. By following it, you're not only avoiding making a mistake, you're also building your character, and it's your character that makes you truly beautiful. It's not your words or messages that matter. It's how strong you are when you don't give in to desperation. So ask yourself, will you let your feelings lead you astray? Or will you stand firm in your values and let your actions show it? Because at the end of the day, it's not about getting her back. It's about getting your own respect back. There's a paradox. The more you pursue her, the farther she pulls away. You put in your energy, attention, and effort, hoping to close the gap, but it only makes her stronger. It's like trying to hold water with a clenched fist. The tighter you grip, the more it slips away. Chasing signals desperation, and desperation lowers your worth. When you chase, you're telling yourself and her that your happiness rests on her approval. It's a needy energy, and nothing kills attraction faster than trying to keep a flame alive. True attraction needs room to breathe. The more you push, the more you show that you're willing to give up your peace for a response. But what if, instead of chasing, you stepped back? What if you chose calmness over desperation, her attention, her feelings, her reactions? You can't change any of that, but you can change how you respond. Chasing gives her power, but letting go takes it back. Now imagine that you stop chasing. The energy she was feeling overwhelmed by is gone, and in the silence, she starts to wonder what happened. She's expecting your usual messages, but there's nothing there. The silence becomes a mirror, reflecting her own thoughts. She's left to wonder why you're not chasing her after her on your own. Seneca wrote that a man is not poor if he doesn't want more, but poor if he does. Chasing comes from wanting more because he feels incomplete without her, but stepping back says, I don't need you to feel whole, which is a powerful realization. By not chasing her, you give her time to realize what she's missing by being quiet. Your calmness and confidence in yourself. Rare things like these speak louder than any words you could send her. She starts to wonder why you're not chasing after her anymore. And it's in that questioning that she feels the shift. If you really want to start something meaningful, don't chase after her. Instead, step back, stand firm in your own worth, and let her feel your absence. Because true power isn't in trying to control someone else, it's in mastering yourself. Being the confident man becoming the unshakable man. Women are interested in emotionally stable guys who don't get upset easily by rejection, silence, or not knowing what to do. It's not about pretending to be stable, either not caring or playing games. It's about building real resilience, the kind that stays steady no matter what. That kind of calm isn't just attractive, It's rare. When a woman pulls away, tests your patience, or acts in a way that you don't expect, your reaction shows everything. If you react with desperation or panic, you show that your emotions control you. But if you stay calm and unbothered, you show that you have true inner strength. She sees a man who doesn't need her approval to feel whole, a man who is sure of his own worth. Most men give up too much emotional control and let a text, or the lack of one, control their mood. But the unshakable man knows that his peace of mind is his sole responsibility. Imagine you're a mountain in the middle of a storm. The winds howl and the rain pours down, but you stay calm. It's not that you don't feel emotions, it's that you've mastered how to deal with them. You acknowledge them without letting them control what you do. Being there in that way is strong, so she might test it. When you stay calm, it sends a clear message that you don't want to respond or pull away. You don't have to keep my peace. I'm in charge of myself. That quiet confidence is magnetic. It makes her wonder why you're acting differently than she thought you would. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner tranquility, to focus on what we can control, and to release what we cannot. Not the unshakable man embodies this. He doesn't allow others' actions to dictate his mood. He responds with calmness and intention. Seneca said, "A man's worth is measured by the things he can do without the less." You crave validation, approval, or attention, the more powerful you become. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. So the next time you feel the urge to reach out, to prove something, to demand a response, pause. Remind yourself that true strength lies in composure. You are not a man ruled by fleeting emotions. You are the unshakable man, grounded, calm, and fully in control. And that kind of presence commands respect. If you've made it this far, you're clearly dedicated to mastering the art of composure and building true inner strength. Now take a moment to reflect. Which part of this message hit home for you? Have you experienced moments where your calmness made all the difference? Leave your ideas below, or if you agree with this way of thinking, leave this sentence in the comments. I am in charge of my own life. Your journey is important. Your insight could get someone else excited. 7th, let's keep talking. The art of letting her miss you. Take a step back and let her feel lost without you. It seems odd to reach out and build a bridge, doesn't it? The silence with words to ask for comfort. It's natural, but desire doesn't grow through force. It grows in space. Like a fire which goes out if you give it too much attention, it needs air to grow. The same is true here. If you're always there, reaching out, she never gets the chance to think about what she's lost. She never gets the chance to wonder, question, feel your loss, and understand how valuable your presence is. It was written by Marcus Aurelius, "We value things we can't control more than things we can." When you chase her or try to force her attention, you give up control and put your worth in her hands. But when you step back, you take back control. You're no longer looking for her approval. You're letting her feel your absence and come to her own conclusions. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about things, but you're also confident enough to let things happen naturally. Your worth doesn't go away just because she isn't acknowledging it right now. It stays the same whether she sees it or not. Imagine her going about her day, expecting your texts and attempts to reconnect, but instead hearing nothing. That silence becomes a reflection of her own thoughts and feelings, and she starts to feel curious and maybe even frustrated, wondering why he isn't chasing her and why he seems so calm. Seneca once said that we don't dare things because they are hard, we dare things because they are hard. The challenge isn't to step back, it's to trust the process. It's to resist the urge to control the outcome. When you have the courage to sit with discomfort and let go of immediate gratification, you unlock a strength that most men never develop. Letting her miss you isn't about playing games, it's about respecting her right to feel her own emotions without being interrupted. Take pride in knowing that your peace of mind doesn't rely on her being there. And if she doesn't come back, you've gained. Clarity, you know that someone else's happiness was never meant to be yours. Let her come to you if she wants to, but for now, focus on living a life so full of meaning that you never feel the need to chase anyone. That's real power. A man who knows how much he's worth and is quiet about it. Number 8, staying away from the trap of instant, not giving in to the urge for instant satisfaction. Quick fixes are what your brain wants. Message her is one of them, that sudden rush of dopamine. It feels like you have control when you hit send, but the truth is that relief is always temporary. It calms you down for a moment, but soon the urge comes back stronger than before, bringing more anxiety, overthinking, and emotional dependence. Real strength comes from resisting that urge. It's about breaking free from the cycle of instant gratification and choosing something deeper and more lasting, but that takes time. The Stoics knew this to be true, which is rare in a world that is always looking for new things. To be in charge of yourself, you have to resist the urge for short-term comfort and choose long-term security. Seneca once said that we suffer more in our minds than in real life. Your mind tricks you into thinking that reaching out will bring closure, happiness, or reassurance. But most of the time, it only makes you feel more insecure. The real pain isn't in her silence, it's in how you respond to it. It's like putting up a fortress that can't be broken. Every time you resist the urge to text, you add another stone to the wall. With stone as its base, the work is slow and even painful, but with each moment of restraint you get stronger. This is the patient that separates the stable from the restless, the disciplined from the desperate. When you plant a tree, you don't keep digging up the soil to see if the roots are growing. Instead, you care for it and trust the process. The same is true here. By letting the silence settle, you're giving her time to think, but more importantly, you're showing yourself that your happiness isn't dependent on what she says. What Seneca also said: time can heal what reason can't, but only if you let it. That means being ready to sit with pain and fight the desire to control what isn't yours to control, because this was never about her in the first place. It was always about your growth. Your road to becoming a man of unwavering strength and calmness. Every time you choose patience over impulse, you improve your discipline and regain your peace. Over time, you'll understand that silence isn't empty space. It's where real strength is made. Take a moment to think about this. How many times have you given in to the urge for a quick fix, only to find that it only lasted a short time? Think about the times you fought the urge to reach out right away. How did that make you feel in the long run? Did things turn out differently when you were patient instead of impulsive? Share your stories in the comments below, or just type them in. To show that you're serious about following this strong rule, be patient. 9. Increasing your worth in silence. Increasing your worth in silence. Do not dwell on this silence. Instead, use it to build. It's easy to lose focus on what she did by thinking about old talks or waiting for a message that might never come. But that will only keep you stuck in anger and self-doubt. Instead, use this as a chance to focus on something much more important: your own growth. In your silence, think of it as fertile soil. What you plant and care for now will determine the kind of man you become. Go to the gym, test your limits, and build the kind of strength that earns respect from others and yourself. Rekindle the passions and projects you may have put on hold while thinking about her. Learn more, get better at things, and go after those goals you kept putting off. Every step you take towards self-improvement makes you stronger, more disciplined, and less reliant on outside approval. This growth speaks louder than any words you could say. It sends a clear message to her and the world. I am a man who values himself enough to keep moving forward no matter who chooses to walk with me. You don't need to prove anything to her or anyone else. You just need to become better because you owe it to yourself. A strong man doesn't look for approval. Instead, he builds value, and when he does that, the right people and chances come into his life on their own. While she's wondering why you're not talking to her, you're out there getting better physically, mentally, and financially. You're making your life so full and satisfying that her presence or absence doesn't affect how happy you are anymore. It's really powerful to know that your worth isn't based on what other people think of you. A stoic man acts with purpose and doesn't waste energy worrying about things he can't change. Instead, he uses that energy to focus on things he can change, like his discipline. Focus on his own growth. The more you work on yourself, the less her silence will bother you, and she will finally notice, because real strength and confidence can't be denied. Seneca said, "A man who wants more is poor, not the man who has too little." When you train yourself to need less, you gain more. When you stop looking for comfort in others, you find true power within yourself. That's a rare thing in a world full of men desperately seeking external validation. So use this time wisely and let your progress speak for itself. A man who is constantly growing, learning, and evolving is never truly alone because he's too focused on becoming the best version of himself to be distracted by short-term setbacks. In the end, that's what makes him truly valuable, not just to others, but also to himself. How and when you should actually reach out. You should reach out. There will be times when it feels right, but you should do it from confidence, not neediness. You shouldn't be desperate or angry when you send your message. You should be calm and clear. That way, you'll be okay with any answer, whether it's positive, neutral, or silent. When you reach out of desperation, your words show that you're not sure of yourself. But when you reach out from a place of strength, your message shows that you are a man who is stable, confident, and happy with himself. As Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. So before you text, ask yourself, am I doing this because I truly want to, or because I feel I need to? Am I acting from strength or weakness? If you're still anxiously anticipating her response or secretly hoping for a certain outcome, now is not the right time. Instead, keep working on your goals and building a life that defines your worth so that her attention doesn't define your worth. Invest in yourself and follow your passions until you no longer feel insecure about reaching out, but instead feel compelled to do so out of genuine desire. Then when you do reach out, it will feel different because you won't be seeking approval or validation. You'll just be saying something real without caring about the outcome. That difference is powerful. It changes the dynamic from seeking to offering, from neediness to self-assurance. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." In this case, bravery means if you have the guts to act without caring how she responds, whether she responds positively, negatively, or not at all, your peace stays intact. That's true freedom, knowing that your worth isn't dependent on how someone else reacts. The truth is that when you reach out from a place of inner strength, she will sense it. She'll know the difference between a man who is chasing and one who is just extending a gesture with quiet confidence. The difference between seeking and offering, between insecurity and self-sufficiency, reach out only when your actions are in line with your values and when your message is free of desperation and expectation and instead shows growth, self-respect, and authenticity. That way, no matter what she says, you'll be able to walk away with your integrity intact, knowing that your actions were based on strength, not weakness. 11th, acceptance of the result. Accepting the outcome, no matter what it is the ultimate test of your strength. It's the moment when all your patience, discipline, and self-growth pay off. When you reach out from a place of peace, you've already won, no matter how she responds, because you've shown yourself that you are stronger than your urges. You've broken free from the cycle of attachment and desperation. If she doesn't respond the way you wanted, that's not failure. Realities are shown to you clearly and honestly, and as a Stoic, you accept them as they are, not how you want them to be. Accept the things that fate ties you to things and love the people that fate brings you together with all your heart. The real test is how you handle the unexpected. When you let go of your hopes, you free yourself from disappointment. If she doesn't return your energy, that doesn't make you less valuable. It only makes you more committed to your own growth and principles. It's not defeat to walk away with dignity. It's a statement of self-respect. It's choosing long-term peace over short-term approval. It's realizing that your worth is not dependent on her response. This is a strength that most men never develop. Imagine this. You send your message calmly and honestly after doing the inner work. Whether she responds warmly, indifferently, or not at all, your reaction stays the same, steady, and unaffected. This is because your peace isn't dependent on her response. Think about how much anxiety you feel when you're afraid of rejection, silence, or indifference. When you let go of those fears and accept whatever happens, you realize that the only battle you were fighting was in your mind. If she doesn't return your energy, walk away with dignity, thank the experience for teaching you, and move on with strength. This wasn't about winning her over. It was about reclaiming yourself, showing that your emotional stability and self-worth are not for sale. You've grown because you put your self-respect over short-lived desires, acted with purpose instead of desperation, accepted silence, fought the urge to chase, and put all your energy into making your life full. That's what makes you strong. If you value yourself, you've already won, and you get to keep that victory. So no matter what happens, wear it like armor and let it strengthen your resolve. You are no longer controlled by fleeting emotions. You have accepted your own growth, your own journey, and your own peace of mind. And that, my friend, makes you unstoppable. Before you text her again, take a deep breath and think about this. It's not just about fighting the urge to send a message in this movie. In the end, it's about figuring out why that urge is so strong and what you can do to take back control of your feelings and actions. This is about taking back your power and value your peace of mind more than the short-term comfort of a text message. Remember that this journey isn't just about not texting her. It's about building an inner strength that stays stable and confident no matter what other people say. This video is about becoming the most honest and strong version of yourself, one that doesn't need her approval to feel valuable or whole. We've talked about how important it is to practice silent presence and emotional control. These aren't just strategies, they're essential skills that will help you keep your dignity and self-respect if you follow these guidelines. You're not just pretending to be someone else, you're getting stronger and better able to handle the difficulties of emotional connections. If you thought this video was helpful, please like it and leave a comment with your thoughts or experiences. Also, don't forget to watch the other videos on your screen for more tips and insights. Your participation helps us reach more people and make more videos like this one that give you power. Thanks for watching, and remember that your strength and worth come from inside you, not from the alerts on your phone.